breaking it in, buds. I've never reviewed a Footwork album before, but for the past few years I've found myself continuously intrigued by the jittery haze of the short-lived Chicago genre, where legs are viciously kicking the air like an imaginary mime. What's daunting is how much of the Footwork genre won't have even found its way onto a public release. Like the afternoon of drinking a glass of Barocca, the leaks will be the most attention-grabbing. The dance crews and battles will hear the best shit before us keen listeners, who are very much not in Chicago, and even then that's assuming we'll hear them if they do happen. Even DJ Nate's last album was more like an archival of old tunes than it was a fresh batch of new meat. Consider ourselves lucky to have the exposure that we do, although at this point, now the world loves Footwork. On founding father DJ Rashad's own Teklife label comes a Norwegian-born, Montreal-based white dude who calls himself Slick Shoota. You could get hung up on that gag, but his album function is immaculately made, so you know that Shooter's not just fucking around for the laughs, or at least I don't think. It'd be more insulting if it sounded like shit. But the love for Footwork is there, so much that Shooter opts to expand on the base ground and craft his own world consisting of club rave energy in the murkiness of jungle, or the murkiness of a jungle. The key difference is that typical underground Footwork is minimalist. It sounds like the DJ was going to get taxed if they had more than 3 sounds playing at once, whereas Shooter makes more of an expansive show out of the whole thing.
Banging on King Drive, banging on King Drive, banging on King Drive, banging on King Drive.
Even on the album's most straightforward track, the opener Hovercraft, it sounds closer to a European rave than it does a Chicago dance circle, almost a microcosm for the genre expanding geographically. Despite this, I'm actually more interested in the chaotic bustle, the rhythms that feel like they make no sense, the shit that sounds like it shouldn't work but does, the honking on See Me Flex, or the way that the track Jellyneck decides to Freaky Friday the percussion and melody. It's no surprise to me that toying with the avant-garde makes for the most exciting magic tricks, where MTL Hardcore's full commitment to breakbeats and the very rigid drum pattern on special tech make them feel like card tricks at a party that you'll only pretend to be amazed at to be polite. Although it's not completely colourless, the practices of Footwork still linger, since you'll hear those hi-hats tittering off faster than coffee rushes to the bowels, and the vocal snippets barking off every now and then, though you'd have to wonder if Shooter's got any other wave files on his hard drive other than the one that says "Let's move."
Let's move!
It's catchphrase-esque, given how often you'll hear it, which may not seem like so much of an obstacle since it's essentially Shooter's own "We the best music!" No, I think I just envision a way for function to become a little bit more than the average parabola. It's a swift-moving, snappy set of tracks that thwack you with hiccup-inducing bass and headache-inducing everything else. And it sounds like dunce talk, but I really do mean that as a compliment. Shooter sculpts some tough thrashes from the sounds of klaxons and alarms, which means that the next time there's a nuclear warning, we can all band together and have one last Footwork circle before planet Earth is wiped out by a tremendous swell of radiation and fire.